Are you also planning on coming to my wedding now, Faith? Jasmine, congratulations on getting married. And yes, I am planning on coming along to your wedding as well. I received your invitation a while back and made sure to RSVP, but perhaps you never heard anything about that yet? I have heard all about that already, and that's the whole reason I'm asking you if you're coming or not. Why would you be asking me if I'm coming or not again then? You're still planning to come to my very special day, even though you're in a wheelchair? Why would you do that? And actually, what do you have against me that makes you want to come and ruin the one day I ask for everything to be perfect? So that's what all this is about then. What you're telling me, Jasmine, is that you don't actually want me to come to your wedding then. And that's why you're trying to make it seem as though I'm going to come to your wedding with the want to destroy it? I'm not just trying to make it seem that way, though. I know that when you come into the wedding hall in that moving jail cell of yours, you're going to make sure the whole atmosphere goes sour. What do you actually think you're doing coming to my wedding in that thing? I'm telling you that there will be no place for disabled people like you at my wedding. I don't need you to have a seat or anything prepared for me anyway, as I'm already sitting and can just roll up behind everyone else. I'm sure that it may be difficult for me to see such things if I'm behind a bunch of other people, but I'll make things work when I get there. You really want to come to my wedding that badly, huh? Don't you realize that having to cater to a cripple during the whole day will cause others to become stressed out? Seriously, why the hell are you wanting to come to the wedding? It's a mystery to me. You're going to be a huge disturbance for everyone, yet you still think it's okay to come? A disturbance? You really think I'm going to allow myself to get in everyone else's way while I'm there? Actually, can you explain to me in detail how I'm going to be a disturbance to everyone at your wedding? I'm sure you'll have a hard time giving me some examples of that, so perhaps you should stop trying to make me out as some sort of heartless monster. Well, it's only natural that the one being a huge disturbance wouldn't bother thinking about all the problems they can cause. You're being pretty rude today, Jasmine. But I guess I should be expecting that sort of behavior from you. Well, I understand how you feel about me coming on your once-in-a-lifetime day. But you're not the only person that's allowed to invite people to your wedding, and it seems to me that someone else would really like me to be there. So what choice should I make when it comes to me coming or not? It's still your wedding after all, so if you really do want me to stay away from your wedding, then I'll listen to you and do as you wish. I know that my brother wants you to be there, but he's way too nice of a person to tell you the truth to your face. I mean, that's probably the whole reason behind him ending up with a crippled woman in the first place. He was too nice to say no to you back then, and even now he can't bring himself to say no to you and tell you the reality of things. Maybe he just likes to be a charitable person, and this was his way of sacrificing something he had for another, lesser being. What do you think about being a bit nicer to me, Jasmine? Not only are you being rude to me, but you've started to say things about Hank that I'm sure he'd be upset about. You're the one feeding off his kindness, so what makes you think I care about how I'm making you feel right now? Well, here's something for you, Faith. I do not see you as anyone close to my sister-in-law, okay? And the reason for that is because I felt very bad for my poor brother and the fact that he forced himself to be with you. How about you go try and tell something like that to Hank then, instead of me? I'm sure that you letting him know how you'd feel about him and I will quickly get you the results a whole lot quicker than telling me. Because you sitting there going off on me like this is not going to get you anywhere or change anything between us at all. So if you really don't want me to come to your wedding and you have a good reason for it, then tell your brother that and see what he thinks. Faith, you're really a pain to deal with and a disgusting woman. I'm asking you to stay away from my wedding with the hopes that my brother never has to know the real reason why. Without him knowing why you don't want me there? You know that he's going to become suspicious about things the moment I don't come with him to the wedding hall. I have no idea why you even think it's possible to hide something like that from him. Oh, maybe you're trying to say that you don't want him finding out about how twisted of a soul you have and about the way you've been talking to me right now? Shut up! Listen to me, Faith, if you actually do come to my wedding, then I'm never going to forgive you for it. And another thing, if you say anything to my brother that would cause him to suspect I've done anything, I'll make you regret ever coming around him or I. So if you'd like to find out what I'll do to you after coming, then be my guest. At least in my case, if I were you, I'd stay away and not even try to poke the bear, which is me. Well, if you're saying that you don't want me talking with your brother about any of this, then how am I supposed to stay away from your wedding without him noticing? I'm sure if you put some thought into all of this, you would understand why what you're asking for is not making any sense. How about to stop myself from being a disturbance at the wedding, I just show up for a little bit to say hi to everyone and then head back home? That should be okay with you, right? I'm telling you that I don't even want to see your face on my special day. Well, I'm trying to think of what to do for your sake, Jasmine. Anyway, I need to go. Goodbye. And with that, have you finally been given the chance to think about all I'd said to you earlier? Maybe you came all the way here today to learn the truth about where you stand in this family and within society itself. Kicking me down on the day of your own dang wedding? Do you understand what you've just done to me, Jasmine? You've just gone and wrecked my wheelchair by doing all of that to me. Looking at you right now, you really do look like a fish out of water, wiggling around on the floor. You know, I had to kick you in that wheelchair after you came here uninvited. If it wasn't for that hunk of metal that you're stuck in, I wouldn't have had to go through all this work showing you that you don't belong here. So you kicked me down just because I'm in a wheelchair? Are you seriously going to tell me that you have no idea how horrible of a person you're being right now saying things like that to me? I get that you don't want me to be here today on your most important day, but are you not aware that you took things a bit too far to show me that? Just know that if you say anything about this to my brother, I'm going to kick you down even harder and send you to the hospital. It'd suck having to be kicked down again, even now that you don't have anything to help you move around anymore, right? Hearing that I'll do it again to you should help make your choice pretty clear right now, right? Jasmine, you've shown me today that no matter what I try saying to you about the way you've been treating me, my words will never enter your ears. I've told you plenty of times now. I don't even see you as my sister-in-law, so you should not be coming to my wedding. What kind of stranger thinks it's okay to come into some random person's wedding like you have, especially when you're a cripple? I'm not going to have a place for you here, so you're just wasting everyone's time and energy by barging in. I can see that you're having a great time saying such discriminating things about me, but do you really now see how disgusting of a person you're being right now? I'm not going to listen to anything a low-life cripple has to say about me. Especially one that's just been kicked down after showing up to a wedding for someone she doesn't even know and was never invited to. And why would I ever invite you to my wedding when you're stuck in that chair? If after being kicked out of that chair has taught you anything about your position in this world, then go ahead and leave my wedding.
Then, we're heading home as well.
Huh?
This would be Faith's husband. And since it seems you're taking things that far, we're going to head home ourselves.
Huh? Hank? Faith's husband would be you, right, Hank? What are you going on about? Today is your little sister's wedding, right? I'm sorry that I have to kick your wife out of here, but my older brother leaving my wedding to go back home isn't okay, right? You're part of my family.
Well, Faith is part of my family, and I'm not going to let you continue to harass her the way you have been. And to make sure that it can never happen again between you and her, I'm going to be cutting ties with you.
Hold on, man. Do you even understand what you're saying to me, Hank? You're supposed to be nice all the time, right? So why are you saying something so scary to me right now? Did something change inside you? Because you're acting really strange. Did Faith end up saying something to you that she shouldn't have?
Before you start to even question the way I'm acting right now, how about you take a look at what you've done to her and answer that question? You literally just kicked my wife out of her wheelchair at your own wedding. There's no way in hell I'm going to be forgiving you for doing something so ridiculous to her.
I told you to hold on a second. Are you really this upset with me right now over something like that? The way you're treating me is really worrying me now. What should we do about this? After hearing something like that from your normally kind and precious older brother, you're probably starting to sweat now, right? Huh? Is this you, Faith? What was up with that? Are you trying to give me a freaking heart attack with that crap? Trying to fake being my brother and sending messages like that is the worst thing you could do to the bride on her wedding day. I'm not going to continue talking to someone that's a complete freak if she can't talk about things with me like an adult. That's what I've been thinking about you, Jasmine. What? What you just heard from Hank was actually typed by him. And after what he's heard about you and the way you've been treating me, he is very upset and will probably not take things lightly around you anymore. Actually, he's going to talk about this with some family and friends now. Huh? He's going to talk about what with all of them right now? Oh, they're starting to say that they all want to leave as well now. What? What the hell are you talking about, Faith? I'd really like it if you stopped talking like a crazy person around me and started to explain what all of that means, please. Everyone is starting to make it seem as though they're fine with cutting ties with you, so don't worry about what they're all doing. As of right now, they've all sided with me on thinking that you're acting like a jerk because of everything you've said and done to me. There's no way they'd all side with you, though. They're all family and friends of mine. Why are they starting to side with a stranger, and a crippled stranger at that? Jasmine, the whole reason for that is that what you'd done to me was not the right thing to do. What did I do to you? When it comes to everything you've done, everything you've thought of, it's all been wrong. And not just wrong, but far from normal, actually. And Hank being pissed at you is the correct response to all of that. And right now, everyone is beginning to walk out of the building, and I think I'm going to head home myself now. Wait a second. Are you actually telling the truth right now? Now you have yourself a wonderful day doing this wedding with none of your friends or family around. And as for the wheelchair of mine that you've ruined, I'll be coming to you later to get the money to repair it. You can understand me doing that, right? You want to come and get money from me now? What the hell? I've never heard of anyone ever doing that to someone for teaching them a simple lesson. I told you everything just a second ago, Jasmine. You can read, can't you? What I said is that you've wrecked my wheelchair after kicking me out of it. For some reason, an idiot like you thought it was a good idea to kick me out of the one thing that I rely on to get around, as well as broke it in the process. So now I need to take my wheelchair in to be repaired, and you're going to be the one paying for all the repairs that need to be made to it. Not only is the structure of it bent, but you also broke one of the front wheels off the chair. That'll only cost a few $100s to repair, right? Well, it would be nice if it only cost that much, but based off all the damage you've done, it'll cost way more than that. But I have no way of paying you that kind of money right now. Also, my family and friends leaving my wedding is crazy, right? If my husband and his family find out about all of this, things will go way downhill for me. Well, it looks to me like they already know all about what's going on here today between you and I, but... Huh? What do you mean by that? What happened between you and I? I'm saying that they know about how you came up to me and kicked me out of my wheelchair and onto the floor, as well as broke my wheelchair in the process. Apparently one of your husband's family members saw this all go down, and since you're in your wedding dress, they know it had to have been you doing that to me. They then went ahead and told your husband about all of that in a panic. Wait, what you're saying should have never happened today. Crap. Now they're saying that they want this wedding to be canceled after what's happened. Well, that would be the best choice after what everyone's heard and seen from you. Now, even your husband's side of the family is shocked by the character you've displayed today, and I'm sure they all don't want you staying married to your husband. And that poor family member that had to witness all of that in the first hand today, I'm sure they never expected you to be the kind of person that thinks it's okay to kick someone out of their wheelchair. But I'm sure anyone would have been shocked by seeing that. This is all way too screwed up. Saying that they want this wedding to be canceled now. All I wanted was for cripples like you to stay out of my wedding. That's it. It was also that my day and my husband's day would be perfect and not ruined by someone who can't stand up on their own. Why did you have to come here today and ruin everything that I worked so hard for? This is all your fault that I'm going to have to leave here today with no fond memories of my husband and I. I told you that you're a disturbance, yet you came here anyway. Perhaps this is all happening because you've acted like a schoolyard bully today? Excuse me? Just because I'm in a wheelchair doesn't mean that I was the one being a disturbance to everyone today. I think that the reason your wedding is going to be canceled is because you thought it was a good idea to do all of that ridiculous crap to me. And now everyone knows the real you. So stop trying to blame your wedding going under on me when all I did was come into the wedding hall and say hi. And now your brother is fed up with you, Jasmine. So when I say that he's planning on cutting ties with you, I'm being serious. There's no freaking way, though, that he'd want to cut ties with me. Stop trying to say things like that for my brother without him being here to defend himself. Do you really think that I'm lying about what he said? You just heard him a second ago, right? He said it himself that he doesn't want you coming around us anymore. In other words, saying he's cutting ties with you. He knows the truth about what you've done to me and knows that you have no intention of being nice to me anymore. Not that you ever were, though. Before today, I was actually doing my very best to keep myself from telling Hank about the way you'd been treating me. But after what you've done today, and with one of your husband's family members witnessing everything, there's no way to hide your disgusting behavior from anyone anymore. And so after explaining everything to Hank, this is the result. Explained everything to him? He has not heard everything just yet. All I had to do was tell him about what you'd done today, as well as show him all the texts you'd sent me recently, and that was enough for him to have a very good understanding of what you think of me. Well, look, this is all really, really screwed up. It looks like he's already gone and told everyone about us now, and they're all leaving the building now. This is not good for me. Faith, come back here. If you start making your way back here now, you'll be able to tell them that everything's okay and that my wedding can go back to normal. I'm sure that we can get my husband's family to understand and keep them from having this whole wedding canceled. I'm your sister-in-law, so please get back here. I'm not going back there. And after what you've done to my wheelchair, there's no way I'll be making my way back there. I can't walk on my own, right? What kind of weak reasoning is that? You have that wheelchair still, and I'm sure it's not that broken. You still have 3 wheels on it, right? Just hop back into that and wheel yourself back here. Do you really want to just let my wedding fall apart after all the hard work I've put into it? Your wedding and all the work you've put into it have nothing to do with me. You told me that I'm just a stranger to you, so why would anything that has to do with you bother me in any way? And now your brother is cutting ties with you, so you won't even have a way of coming to us asking for our help or our sympathies after what you've done to yourself. So don't try to make it seem as though I need to care about anything regarding you, because I never will. And anyway, even if I wanted to come back there and help you fix the problems you've made for yourself, you said that cripples like me are not allowed to come into that wedding. I know the rules you've laid out very well now, so don't think you can trick me into coming back. Me not coming back to that place is okay, right? I don't want to be kicked down a second time, especially now that both my hands are all scraped up and my wrists hurt a little bit. I know I said things like that before about you, but this time it's okay for you to come back and see the wedding. Please come back here and help save my wedding. If you don't come back here and make things right, then my brother will never come back here to see me on my very special day. And if he isn't here to talk my family and friends back into staying for the wedding, then it can never happen and will be ruined. Well, what about just giving up on the wedding and calling it a day after all this, Jasmine? I'm sorry, but to me, I don't think your husband is going to want to stay with you anymore now. And as for everyone else, I think they can all agree with me that after showing your true colors today, they don't want to stick around anymore. Would anyone want to watch someone have their wedding after they kicked someone out of their wheelchair and laughed while doing it, all before running away right after? I'm sorry, but whatever poor family member had to witness that will never approve of you having a wedding with your husband now. Well, even if you think that, when I did all of that to you, I thought I was doing the right thing and protecting my wedding. Well, that way of thinking is something that a lot of us here do not agree with. I've seen lots of people that are like you who happen to look down on me for being in a wheelchair and all of that, but I've never had anyone think it's okay to kick someone out of their wheelchair and laugh about it. What you'd done was really the first time I'd ever actually felt bad for myself having to end up with both my legs being unusable. Before, I was able to just ignore everyone, but this time, you took things too far. Looking down on you? Like, discrimination? I didn't plan on discriminating you in any way, though. Even if you didn't plan on it, the way you acted today was discrimination. And that was made clear as day to everyone at the wedding. Have you started to understand what everyone around you thinks about what you've done? Well, I guess it doesn't really matter if you understand or not, since the outcome of your actions will have little to do with me. So really, you can keep thinking you were in the right for what you've done to me, and I won't care. Now this is goodbye forever, you pile of crap. Forever? You're cutting ties with me as well now? Why wouldn't I be? My husband is going to be cutting ties with you to help protect me from your actions, so I'm joining him to make sure that you never have the opportunity to come near me again. Now, I hope that things can still go well for you today with that wedding, but I highly doubt they will. In the end, what Jasmine had said and done to me was shown to her husband, and after being so surprised by finally shown the true Jasmine, he asked for the whole wedding to be canceled and that everyone who was still there go home. Most of the people on his side of the family were also on their way out by this time, so hearing from him that he wanted them out of there was no surprise. She was also told that she'd have to pay for the cancellation fees regarding the canceled wedding, and that her husband wouldn't be paying a cent of it. The total price ended up being around $50,000, which I'm sure she won't be able to pay off immediately. But that's what borrowing money is for, and I'm sure she'll have to be doing a lot of that to afford the cleanup after the mess she'd made. After that day, Jasmine's husband filed for divorce, and after that went through, he and his family cut ties with her and never even bothered to say goodbye. When all of that had finished, Jasmine thought that she still had the chance to get her brother and I to forgive her for what she'd done, but after coming to our house to try and beg for our forgiveness, we shut the door in her face and told her that the next time she showed up to the house, we'd have the police come and arrest her. The one nice thing about her coming to the house, though, was that I was able to hand her the bill for my wheelchair repairs, and said that she had a month to pay me back, or else I'd take her to court and have my lawyer handle her. I still think hearing and seeing all of that from her brother and I really set her mind straight and showed her that what she'd done was really not okay with anyone. But it's too late now for her mind to be set straight, as her family and husband are no longer around her anymore and have no plans of coming back to her. That poor little idiot.